Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ice300 Garza. This is Slightly Modified. So, before I open this box, I'm just going to explain real quick what this box is. So, the 180SX has a 2jz in it. It has a big single turbo on it, but it's only running 7 pounds of boost. And the reason why it's running 7 pounds of boost is because my transmission is made of glass. So right now we have a W58 transmission out of a MK4 Toyota Supra. So it's not going to cut it. We're actually pulling that out and we're going to be putting it in this Beamer we're working on right here. But that's going to be a separate video in of itself. But that W58 is fragile. So what we got is we got a BMW ZF transmission, ZF 5-speed. It comes out of a E36 328, E36 M3, and then a few E46s. I'm not really sure. But anyways, what I got here is a swap kit. Now, it's not brand new. No. Holy shit, it's a box inside a box. Okay, box number 2. I'm gonna go grab the kitchen knife. Don't tell my girlfriend. Oh, guys, I'm excited. Honestly, to be honest, I don't really like BMW transmissions. And I know you guys are thinking, hey, why don't you put the ZF in the E36? Well, to be honest, the E36 is gonna be running less than 300 horsepower. So, that is gonna be perfect for the W58 that we're gonna rip out of the 180SX. So, yeah. So anyways, there's this guy on Facebook. He didn't have it posted for sale, but I bought something else off of him, and he was like, hey, I have, what the hell? He said, hey, I have a ZF swap kit for a ZF to JZ. I'm like, no way. So then I was talking to him about it, and luckily he was willing to sell it to me. He lives in like Pennsylvania or something, and he's like, well, bro, give you a good deal on it, but shipping's kind of be crazy. I was like, for sure. So, oh my God, this is so much. And doing it with one hand, this is a challenge. All right. So, first things first. What do we got here? Okay, we got the Flywheel. So guys, I know it's not the best looking shit ever because he said it's been sitting in his garage for a couple years. So it's got some pitting and stuff like that, but I don't really care as long as it works. So, here's the first thing. Flywheel. Oh, there's all the bolts. And the surface area looks pretty good. And we got all the bolts here, so shout out to him for that. Okay, what else do we got? Oh, got another box. Let's break out the freaking kitchen knife again. Honestly, I can't talk shit. He did a good job on the shipping. He did a really good job. All right. Okay, here's the clutch disc. Nice. Nice. Ooh, here is the throw bearing. It looks like it's 3D printed, made of plastic. That's not very good. We'll see about that. Clutch disc. So this guy said this clutch disc was actually specially made. Look, it's got 2 different types of material on it. I don't know. Hopefully that's not gonna freaking bite me in the ass. Yeah. So now I have to figure out which side goes where, and it looks a little dirty, so I'm gonna clean it up. But perfect. Now the pressure plate. Here's the pressure plate. So this is a OEM M3 Sachs pressure plate. So I'll look up the part number on that. Let me make sure it's good enough, because if not, I'm gonna buy a freaking another one. Yeah, dude, this stuff is dirty. So pressure plate, sweet. He even gave me the, what's it called, alignment tool that fits okay. And then here is the Collins adapter plate. Now this thing looks kind of clapped, I'm not gonna lie, but as long as it works, I don't give a f. And then here are the nuts and bolts for the 2jz starter. So hell yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited. Man, look how thick that whole setup is. Super thick. So now that we have the adapter kit out of the way, now we are going to go over to the transmission. Okay guys, it's going to be a short little overview on this transmission, but I just bought this transmission the other day. I don't know if it was a good purchase or not. I felt like it was until I brought it home. But anyways, I did ask the guy to hook me up with a few things. He gave me the Guibo, and then he gave me the actual drive shaft piece. So I can give this to the shop. That way, hopefully, making a drive shaft be cheaper. I got the, what's it called? The shifter, selector rod, whatever. I got that because I just plan on maybe cutting and welding it for my shifter. yeah, but this transmission has what's called fifth gear lean. So in other words, if you look at this is straight, right? And then that's the fifth gear gate. So what happens is these detents in this transmission, they get stuck over time, or they get worn out, beat up. And as you can see, this is not straight. It's leaning towards fifth gear. That is straight. That's not. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. All you have to do is buy detents for it. So I actually already bought detents. They're on the way actually. So fifth gear is the only problem, but we're just going to do all of them just because before we throw it in my car. And hopefully that'll be good for what we're doing. The detents were like $100, and I just ordered a few other things. I ordered a stainless clutch ball pivot, so that's coming in. And then basically we have everything we need. All we need is the drive shaft and the cross member. Cross member I'm probably going to custom make because I don't think anyone sells them for ZF S chassis. Kind of weird, but yeah. So we are going to gather all of this stuff up, and we are just going to go put it by the car. And then of course we have to pull the other trans out first. I'm going to put you on the time lapse, and we're going to try to rip this thing out quick. We got little baby birds in the tree. The mama bird's over there. She's gonna press me in a second. Start chirping at me. Missy's pissed because she can't get the new birdies. Anyways, 180SX. Dude, put this puppy in the air. It took me an hour to pull this out by myself. I got my buddy Chris down here, sleeping. So yeah, we are ready to put this trans adapter on. So there were studs inside of the starter thing. We are going to take those out. We just did. Now we're going to hand it to Chris. He's going to get it on the motor. And we're going to start putting those bolts in. Here you go, Chris. Dowels out.
I got my dowels out. Cars are right here.
Ew. Kind of sucks not having a lift, huh?
A little bit.
I just want to.
Yeah, you fucking like that, dude.
I just want to add how good Chris looks in his coveralls.
Dude, I can't move.
Well, yeah, we'll lift this car up another 3 feet for you, buddy.
No, like the coveralls fucking won't let me move. I'm too buff for it.
Buff, huh?
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. I got abs, bro.
I mean, looks like it.
A big stomach.
Dude, what the fuck's up with you and Robert with these dad jokes today? Chris put that adapter plate in 37 seconds. I'm glad he's here because it's tight fit into here. Now we're gonna have to get the trans and see if we can squeeze it on there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to be honest. This is what I do. I buy them lunch so I can sit here and drink dew. Let's see what my people are up to.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hey guys.
What's going on here?
What's up?
$50 an hour.
$50 an hour my ass. I bought you $12 lunch. You work all day, son.
That's racist.
How you know?
Gotta add one more.
No, stop! More! Oh my god.
Let me see how many
I literally
extensions.
don't need another one.
Let me see.
I need
Bring
one
it down.
less.
Idiot.
Oh,
That's not for you, it's for me!
That thing's almost like a swivel socket. Look at that thing.
Dude,
so,
Chris is gonna be tightening this thing from the back of the car.
let me crawl under here, guys. So this is what we got going on. We got, let's see, let's go over this. We got, sorry, we've been working, so I haven't been really filming
Chris,
much. We put the flywheel in with ARP bolts, all purchased from Colin's website, and we torqued those to 75 foot-pounds with red Loctite. Then we got the alignment tool in there. For some reason it wasn't thick enough, so we wrapped some tape around it, so that worked out good. And then we got the clutch disc on there.
You could take your own device in that one.
What else do we got? Oh, we torqued the pressure plate to how many foot-pounds, Kuya?
18.
18 foot-pounds. And right now, what we did was we dropped the subframe down and we loosened the motor mounts to tilt the motor back as far as we could to get this trans in and get to the bolts on the top. Now it looks like we're doing a good job. My union carpenter over here is doing what he does at work.
No,
Nothing.
I actually do that. Oh god.
So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
How many foot pounds
bolts,
do you think you lose?
6 bolts, and then the 2 starter studs.
Hey, we got a math problem for your viewers, Garza.
Oh God!
How
talk
many
to me.
foot pounds do you think we lose with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extensions?
I would say about 12 foot-pounds. Add 12 more.
Oh my God.
Because you have to double it. On the Coolant kit, there's no more starter bolts. There's starter studs that thread into the Coolant adapter. So
Right side.
you have to drill these out big enough for you to fit through the studs. And then once you get the studs in, you put it on, and then you put a nut. Oh, sorry, like this. And then you put a nut on the end of it and snug it down. So that's how the starter is going to work. I didn't want to cut up my GTE starter, so I found a GE starter with a stripped hole, so we just used that. She's got some wobble to her. Yeah, add 12 foot-pounds, buddy.
Nice lean.
Cool, yeah, you're bending to the left a little bit.
It's leaning to the wrong side. If you know female.
Hey, my fiberglass! We're gonna finish getting everything in, and then we gotta take the measurement for the drive shaft, and then we have to worry about making the trans mount. So we have to make the trans mount because they don't sell one for a ZF S chassis. They don't make one. This is 3/16" flat bar steel. So we just got a couple variations of it. This is 2" 2", 3". So we were gonna make a whole cross member, but we may not need to. Here's a shifter I got off of Amazon. It looks like it's gonna work just fine. The only thing is now we have to fab up a shifter hole, just like a piece of metal. That way we could mount this in there. This is, I don't know from what chassis, but this is a ZF shifter selector rod. And it actually looks like we're not even gonna need to modify it. It looks like it's gonna put us right in the center of the shifter hole, maybe a teeny far forward, but as long as I don't have to do any fab work, that's cool. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stick that in there, stick that in the trans, and then wherever the shifter is gonna sit, we'll drill the hole, and that's where the shifter is gonna sit. So I fabbed up these 2 brackets. This one is a shifter mount for the inside of the car. So the shifter was big enough to fit through this 1.25" inch hole. The shifter mounts here, and then it mounts to the actual shifter hole in the car right here. Now I made it adjustable so I could slide it back and forth because I don't know where my shifter rod is gonna sit exactly. So I should have a little over 1 inch of play wherever I need to go. And this right here, this is my transmission mount. I had this old existing Tech 2 mount from my kit. It's from my JZ swap kit. It is for an R154. I do not have an R154, but luckily I held on to it because I was perfectly able to weld in this little bracket to support the ZF right in the front. So it's technically a hybrid mount now. It's R154 mount by night, ZF by day. But we got this matte black paint primer we're gonna spray it down with before we end up throwing it on the car. As you guys know, we painted the car red about a year ago because I wanted to match the boys, right? All my vehicles are white, but the boys are like, I'm gonna paint my car red. And I was like, fine, f it, we'll paint it red. But the boys had a change of heart. They said, we're gonna go white. I'm like, oh, huh, about time. So now everybody's matching the good old Lexus. I could be like that guy saying, oh, we're gonna keep it a secret and show you when it's done. No, we're not like that. We're painting the car white. You'll see it, it's gonna look tight. Got my boy Cody Brown here. Look at his shirt. Are you ready to wet sand?
Okay.
Sanding, 400, time lapse. Let's do it. See ya. Okay, the drive shaft's in. The exhaust is hooked up. I just put gaskets and everything. I tightened up the V-band up front. Hopefully everything should be good. I also moved the screamer pipe right here. Hopefully that's good because it's real close to these water lines and this oil line, but I think it should be good. Yeah, check for leaks. We're good to go. I'm gonna fire this sucker up. Man, I haven't started this thing in 6 months. Went straight to an idle. What a good girl. Good girl. We need to check the oil. This oil is a year old. So we're gonna run it, make sure everything's good. We're gonna drive around the block and then we're gonna change the oil. I also just put in that CX Racing air conditioning delete bracket because I was having a problem with shredding belts at high RPM. So I'm assuming the pump was kind of moving and it was jacking up the belts. So this thing sounds pretty good. Small exhaust leak, but it's nothing bad. What are we at idle? 50 pounds at idle. That's not bad. It should be like 43. Guys, we were up late working on the car, and the only reason why we were trying to get this so done is because we're going to take a drifting this weekend. Now, the problem we were having was the clutch wasn't disengaging. So the problems that we were having, someone said, hey, your clutch disc is backwards. So we're like, screw it. We pretty much knocked it out. We flipped it around, fired it up, and it was worse. So we're like, all right, that can't be it. So we're gonna take it, we're gonna flip it back around. But it ended up being stuck. The whole clutch glued itself or welded itself to each other, to the input shaft of the transmission. Now the transmission won't come off. So the transmission's stuck on this car and there's nothing that we could do to free it. We literally have to pull the engine out now. Now, last thing we have to do is drain the coolant and loosen the motor mounts, and she's pretty much ready to come out. So that was only about half an hour worth of work, so I figured we might as well just do it because we gotta clean everything. This car sits outside and things are starting to get pitted and stuff. So we're gonna continue pulling this engine out, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit the engine next to the car with the clutch plumbed up. We're just gonna take the line and throw it out over here. You can cut a hole in the bell housing of the transmission and you can take off the pressure plate bolts one by one. I don't really want to cut a hole, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the slave in, push in the clutch, turn the engine, pull the slave out, take out a bolt, put the slave back in, push in the clutch, turn the engine again, pull the slave out, take another bolt, and do that a total of 6 times to get all the pressure plate bolts off. Hopefully when the pressure plate is unbolted, the whole thing will just yank off, and then we could figure out, you know, what went wrong, or we could try doing a couple things with the engine out of the car. And then once we can get the clutch working properly, then we'll throw the engine back in. Guys, I got it. I was able to get the pressure plate off, and then I was able to access these 4 bolts that are in the casing of the transmission. I was able to get this input shaft sleeve off. As you can see, this is the damage that I did to it from using that 3-jaw puller on it yesterday. So pretty much the only thing we lost is a clutch disc. Looks like the pressure plate is good. It looks like the flywheel is good. There's a little bit of play in the input shaft. I don't know how normal that is, but it seems to spin true, and this bushing right here is not damaged. I think we're good to go. Just a couple war wounds on the splines. That's about it. I think we did it, guys. Turns out when you put a clutch disc on backwards, it digs into this this release bearing sleeve, and it welded itself. So I had to cut it off of that too. And then I fucking messed this up because I used like a 3-jaw puller, messed that one up. So long story short, putting the clutch on backwards cost about 10 to 12 hours worth of work. And this new clutch disc was 150 bucks, and then this release sleeve, the release bearing sleeve was like 50 bucks. So $200 mistake. We got the new sleeve right here, got the new clutch disc right here. Kuya's here. He's doing the things I don't want to do because I'm done with this transmission. So he's gonna put all that back on, and he's gonna bleed my clutch for me because I'm not doing it. I appreciate you.
I got you.
And plus, we need to get this car ready because we're going driving in like 2 weeks. If you guys want to watch the other video I'm making a video on how to simplify a 2JZ. It goes for pretty much any JZ in general, but this video is specific to a 2JZ. We're deleting some wires off of this harness. I should have that video out either after this or before this, I don't really know. But we got rid of like all those wires out of the harness, so simplified it like to the max. So now all we have to do is finish lubing that up, but different video. So all right, boys, so it's pretty late, but Chris got the transmission back on after our little mishap, and we're gonna go test it real quick. So I'll throw it in neutral. She spins. Now we're gonna throw it in, so like fourth or something. She's locked up. Hit me with the clutch, Chris. Drop it. Beautiful.
With S chassis, the clutch master's a slightly smaller bore than Beamers. Beamers are a 3/4 bore. So, bigger bore, you need more effort to actually push the slave. This is a Beamer trans, it needs a bigger bore. The S chassis has a slightly smaller bore, so more pressure, less pedal feel.
In other words, the pedal felt like shit, so even if it was bled right, the pedal was feeling garbage. Like, it was so fucking soft that it almost got stuck in the down position. So the pedal still is soft now, but we just wanted to test it. So we're gonna throw the 3/4 master in, and I'm gonna have Chris bleed it so that my clutch actually works. The engine's ready to be thrown back in, basically. I did a couple other things. You guys will see that in another video, but so glad this clutch issue is solved now. It kind of dragged on for a while, but I'm glad we got it figured out. It was just a very simple mistake. Pretty much, I don't know how to bleed a BMW master cylinder. They're pretty complicated to bleed. I mean, they're straightforward once you know how to do it, but they're pretty complicated. And you know, we ran into the problem. We flipped the clutch disc. We really messed up the clutch disc. Freaking took hours and hours and hours of my time to try to get everything apart. Had to order some stuff, wasted some money. But shout out to the boys. Shout out to Chris and Matt for coming over here and helping me get everything back together. Trans back on the engine. Engine is gonna go back in the car. You guys have seen an engine come in and out of a car multiple times, so I'm just gonna end it off here. In the next video, you're gonna see us drifting this thing. We're gonna be drifting it, so that's why we're kind of finishing it up. It's been on the back burner. Now it is #1 priority. We're gonna finish it, drive it around. Hopefully it's good, and then we're gonna drift it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This was the ZF to JZ in an S13 swap. Hope you guys liked it. I'm out. Later.